kept you.
Sorry, it was traffic, you know. It was going fine and I hit the tunnel, and then it all just started
Fuck's
to go...
sake. Every time, every single time. You said you were 2 minutes away 10 minutes ago. Let's just go. I am starving and I've been waiting for ages.
I found Hunger to be a sort of sad, nostalgic film for me. We have our two main characters, and just surface level, it's about a couple looking for a place to eat, but it's really about these characters and their relationship and how it has sort of degraded over time. They're very resentful of each other. They're constantly arguing over little things. Um, and in the moment, they're hungry for like a physical sustenance, but in reality, they're hungry for that love, that connection that they used to have. They need to connect to each other, but they don't really know how to express that other than to argue with each other and to pick at each other. And we see what they're really hunger for. Physically, we see them making out, I guess, on the corner of the street, and they're both acknowledging that this is what they really want, basically, you know, gazing at that. And it's really sad that they never come together like that. You see what they really need, and they sort of ignore it because they don't know how to express it. I thought the analogy of this film with the hunger and the underlying need for connection was really well done. I loved the metaphor here.
Gorgeous opening shot of that aerial shot of the intersection, and just this, what a interesting dynamic to watch, this couple who is miserable, the woman who feels like she hates her husband, and he's kind of just trying his best and trying to not like placate her and make sure that he's not going to get yelled at today or get in trouble today. And we see this, we, and as well as the couple, see these two people making out on the street, and ultimately that is what she wants, and she's kind of just longing for more and just needs that sweetness and tenderness to cut through the armor that she's wearing. And I loved that scene, where it kind of shifts and we see it's actually the two of them, and it's really, really beautiful. I liked the story a lot. I think they did a great job um, of playing it out visually, and I thought that the actors did a great job. I was feeling for him, I was feeling her frustration, all of it, and yeah, I love that kind of that twist ending.
I tend to enjoy these type of pieces with these intimate constructs built around a conversation. I think often it gives the performers a lot of room to showcase a lot of range emotionally, both comedically and in a dramatic sense. And I thought this was really evident in this piece. I thought both performers were quite excellent, and their dynamic was incredibly natural and realistic. And I thought that it really allowed the audience to sort of see themselves in the characters and see themselves in that sort of relationship dynamic in which things are unraveling and have been so for quite some time. And issues just like getting something to eat are a core aspect of all types of conflict. So I thought the piece both worked well in that sense, but also had a really great cinematic approach, being able to create a sense of rhythm and pacing. Even though most of the piece obviously plays out in the car, I thought they really had a way of creating a sort of act breaks and sequences within the piece that really contextualize the journey of the characters that went beyond just where the conversation points were at. And I thought that the ending was a quite stark, or great image of what you imagine to be a previous version of them when they were happy as they drive by. And I think the musical cue matches with that interpretation.
Off the bat, I think these two actors, you could feel the chemistry, or I guess lack thereof, throughout this piece. It was very emotional and kind of heart-wrenching at moments when you see these two people trying to connect and feeling out what they need, what they're hungry for, and how they're hungry for that connection and how they struggle to find that. I think using hunger as a motif for emotional connection and physical connection, and or honestly just connection as a whole in this relationship, I think it's really creative. Hunger is something that builds over time until you're ravenous and hangry and upset at each other, and they're picking at each other, and I think it's a really, I think it's a really great metaphor shown in this piece. I think the tension is like palpable, so palpable at so many moments. The pacing is really great.
I loved that they basically stayed in the car the entire time. I think that that kind of forced proximity is really interesting to work with and really interesting to witness. Like that forced proximity can be so awkward and can be so uncomfortable, and you can't do anything about it. You can't go anywhere, especially like if you're driving to a specific place. You just have to endure it. But clearly, these are two people that have some sort of relationship, and it's just clearly not working at the moment. And it just isn't clicking. It's not cohesive. It feels stilted. It feels awkward. It feels uncomfy. And I think that they did all those things really well because you felt it. And you didn't just feel the fact that it was awkward or uncomfortable, but you felt that they clearly had some kind of relationship and you felt that they clearly cared about each other. You could feel the weight and the history behind it, but at the same time, it's clear that something is not working. And so I think that they did that really, really well because they really portrayed that kind of relationship well. And then to have her so blatantly be like longing for more passion, more something at the end, I thought was such a great moment and such a great look and such a great way to kind of convey that.
There seemed to be this sexual spark missing between the two that made them irritable at one another. For example, any little thing the man did set the woman off. There is no explanation to why the spark died between the two or if they'll mend their relationship, but I think this tells couples that it's better to seek therapy and work the problems out with communication. I found the woman's irritants at the man to be more humorous than serious. Anything triggered her because she clearly had this built up resentment about him that she never let out. The whole scene is taken in a car, but there were still wide establishing shots that give you a feel of the town and take you into their estranged world and relationship.
It shows the class and socioeconomic status of the main characters, which is very like upper middle class. The dynamic between the two characters shows that of, one of a long marriage and, the two are familiar with each other. That almost sort of breeds contempt. So I like how that's displayed in this short.